Dear friends, good morning. We will discuss how to write a Java program for reading a mail using POP3. Here we need some prerequisites. We need mail account and Eclipse IDE and Java runtime environment. And as you know, for implementing this SMTP and POP3, we need the Java Mail API, which is already provided by Java. And these are the steps we have to write the Java program. First of all, we need a mail account. Then we have to create a new Maven project. After that, update POM XML file. Then to create the Java class file and writing the code, then test the Java code. First of all, we need a mail account. So here I am using the mail account Rediff Mail. Already I created some account here, and I am using the same account. And you can observe in this mail in my inbox for testing purpose, there are two mails are there which is sent from the same mail ID. And before that, we need some settings also, and for that you go to settings, then you go to account info. There you can see secure password is there. The secure password is required for communicating. This password is required from communicating from the Java program. So already I created this. If you are new to this, you just create the password and use this password that is required. And the next thing is POP by SMTP access, and it must be enabled. So if you are enabling this only, you can communicate from the Java program for implementing this. So the purpose of the POP program is, as you know, that to read the mails from the Java program. So the next thing is we have to install the Eclipse in our system. Already I had installed this Eclipse in my system. This is a freeware, and you just open this Eclipse, you launch this. You can observe that yes, it was launched. Then I am creating a new project. For that you have to go to file, new, then other, and I am creating a Maven project. So you select a Maven project, then click next. After clicking next, you can observe that here I am creating a very simple project. So you select create a simple project. After that, click on next, and here it will ask some options. That is, what is the group ID and what is the artifact ID, then what is the name and the description. I am giving my project name as POP3 read, and I am using the same POP3 read for group ID, artifact ID, then name. And after that, I am describing something about my program in the description. So here I am writing that simple Java program to read mail. Why? Because I am trying to read the mail from the Java program. So after that, click on finish. Now you can observe in the left pane that yes, POP3 read is created, and whenever you will open this POP3 read, automatically you can say that some of the things are automatically created for this project, like these things. Okay, after that you can also observe that pom.xml file is also there. And now what our purpose is to update the pom.xml file. So to update the pom.xml file, you just go to Google or something, type com.sun.mail, and you open this from the mavenrepository.com, and there you can see that 1.6.2, that is the Java version I am using here. So you just open this 1.6.2, there you will find the code for the dependency. You just click on this, it will be selected, and you copy this. And after copying this, you just paste the code inside of the pom.xml file. So you just open the pom.xml file, and there instead of the pom.xml file, yes, it is opening, yes. After that, here within the tags as dependencies and slash dependencies, you just paste this code. So I am just writing dependencies, and inside and in between of these two tags, just I am pasting the copied code. Okay, yes, now my work is finished in the case of pom.xml file. So my part is finished in the case of pom.xml file. Yes, it was updated. Then what is the next case is I have to create a Java class and I have to write the code. For that, first of all, I have to create the package, and instead of that package I have to create the class. So what I will do is just you select POP3 read, then you go to new, just POP3 read, then go to new, then you select the package. Yes, now you can observe that it will ask you for some name. You give the same name as POP3 read, and then okay, POP3 read I typed, and after that you just finish this. Now you can observe that POP3 read was created. Yes, and you instead of this POP3 read, you just instead of this POP3 read package, you just create a class, and this class name also I am giving it as POP3 read, and after that you select public static void main string args, means automatically the main also will be created instead of that class. Okay, now you can observe that the package name is POP3 read, and instead of this there is a class POP3 read, and instead of that public static void main, and after that whatever the things are there, those things I have to update in this class. Okay, and next what we will do is, instead of this main, first of all we will take some 4 variables. These 4 variables are for, the first one is for the host. In my case the host is rediffmail.com, so I will write it as I am taking the variable host and I am assigning the value pop.rediffmail.com. and the second thing I am taking the mail store type. Mail store type is, in my case it is POP3. Okay, it is POP3, that is my mail store type. As you know, we are implementing POP3, so my mail store type is POP3, and I am taking a variable mail store type and I am taking the value as POP3. Next thing is I am taking another variable user. Why? Because for login into the Rediff Mail account I need a username and password. For that I am taking a variable username, and I am giving my mail ID, that is something like krcbbk something, and so on and so on so on. Yes, my mail ID is passed to username variable, then password is required, and the password is already, you know that already I created a secured password there. Whatever the password I say secured password created there, that password only I have to write here. So something, it is a combination of some 18 characters, so whatever it may be, the same thing you have to type here. So now you can observe that I am having 4 variables: host, mail store type, username and password. By using these things I can connect to the Rediff Mail. So the next thing is I am writing a function with the same name as of the class, like POP3 read. So I am just calling a function with the same name, that is POP3 read, and for this POP3 read function I am passing these 4 values. These 4 values are host value, mail store type, then username and password. Whatever the values just I given to these variables, those variables I am passing to this function, that is POP3 read function. So now I will try to implement this POP3 read function. So for that I am writing public static void POP3 read, and there I am taking the variables, that is a string POP3 for the first one, for the host, the second one POP3 host, the second one is string store type, and that is for mail store type, and the third one is string user, that is for username, and fourth argument I am passing it as a string password, that is nothing but the password. Okay, so when I am calling to this function, those values are passing to this function. So now I have to take these 4 values and I have to implement this public class POP3 read function. Okay, and whatever the things are there inside of the function I have to write, I will write within the try catch block. Why? Because the exception will be caught automatically. So for that I am taking the default catch block. So instead of this default catch block, I am writing catch and exceptions E. Then instead of the body, I am writing e dot print stack trace, that I will write here. Okay, this is the old thing, everyone knows about it. So there is nothing new inside of this. So I am not implementing any more things in the catch block, and if you want to implement some more things, you can implement. Okay, and instead of the function, I have to implement these 5 steps. So I have to implement these 5 steps. First of all, the session object, then POP3 store, then folder object, then retrieving the messages, and closing the store. So these 5 steps I have to implement inside of the function. So among them, the first one I have to do is, actually it is a combination of 5 steps I have to implement this. The first, the same things I am writing inside of this as comments. So the first one is, the first step I have to complete is get the session object. After that, the second step I have to complete create the POP3 store object and connect with the POP server. Yes, its purpose is to connect with the rediffmail account. For that I am created a POP3 store object, and by using this I am connecting to the POP server, that is in my case it is rediffmail server. And the third step I have to, once after connecting to the server, what I have to do is I have to create a folder object and I have to open this. Means whatever the contents are there inside of my mail, that is nothing but the inbox, that inbox things will be copied to the folder object. And after doing this, the fourth step is, whatever the messages I just took to the folder object, those messages has to be retrieved and it should be printed on the console. So whatever the things, that is the inbox contents I read from the mail, those things has to be retrieved and it has to be printed. That is the fourth step. And after doing all these things, the fifth step is, whatever the objects I had opened, those objects I have to close. Okay, now I will try to implement the first step. The first step is get the session object. Inside of the session object, as you know that I have to create an object for the class properties, and I am taking the object name as properties. And here, as you know, that is by giving new properties, I had created an object of properties. Okay, so by using this object properties dot put, and here I will change these contents as the first one is mail dot pop3 dot host, and the second parameter is, I will give it as okay, properties dot put mail dot pop3 dot host and pop3 host. Okay, so whatever the value, that is the first parameter, the first parameter value will go to the mail dot pop3 host, that is nothing but my rediffmail. Okay, next I will create the session. Session is required. Why? Because for doing all these things I need a session for this email, and for that I am creating an object of email session for the class session, and I am creating the get default instance method I am calling, and I am creating a session. Okay, by using these properties. Okay, my first step is over, and you can see that there is an error is there. For this error I am getting. Why? Because I had not included the jar files. So I have to include those jar files. The jar files are nothing but the what are the jar files? Those jar files are known as okay, for including these jar files, I am created a folder lib with the name lib, and I am importing that those jar files from my file system. Already those files are in my system. There is activation.jar and mail.jar and some more 1.6.2.jar. Those jar files are need to be included in my project. For that I had stored these files in my system. So in the jar files folder, which is at C drives jar files, and I am opening this jar files folder. There you can find a list of jar files which are already there. So I am taking here Java Xmail API 1.6.2.jar, and also you can take activation.jar and the mail.jar. You include these three files. So here whatever the files I included here, those things has to be linked up with my project. So what I will do is just right click on this and click on build path, then go to add to build path. So you can observe there. So these this is the jar files which is already available to my project. That is, you can see in the under reference libraries you can see javax.mail-api 1.6.2.jar. so you can also, you have to add the activation.jar and mail.jar. so these three jar files are required for my project. So after doing this you can observe that the error was gone. Okay, so the next we are going to implement the second step. So once I created a session, the second step is to connect with the POP server. So POP server means I have to connect to with my user ID and password. By using this user ID and password, I have to connect it to the Rediff mail server. So for that, what I will do is POP3 store class is there. It is a predefined class, and for that POP3 store, I am creating an object email store, and there I am first of all I am taking the type conversion POP3 store type, and the previous object is there email session. I am using that object email session dot get store is a predefined function there instead of session class, and whatever the type is there, that is store type. So by calling this get store method, I had created an object of email store which is of type POP3 store type of class. Okay, you can see some error here. For this error I have to include some import some file there, package is there. So for that I am writing com.sun.mail.pop3.pop3 store. Why? Because this POP3 store is required to import that POP3 class. So you can observe that now that error was gone. Okay, next thing, once I created this, okay, I am setting the screen so that it will be visible. Why? Because it is a very small screen. Okay, I think it is visible. Okay, again I will adjust something. Okay, now it is visible. Okay, then by using this email store, I have to connect with the Rediff mail server. So what I will do is email store, I am using that object. This object is an instance of the class POP3 store. So email store dot connect method I am using. This connect method is available in POP3 store class, and I am passing the user and password, whatever the things that are provided at the password to the function. So after doing this, if everything is fine, that now I connected to the Rediff mail server. Okay, after connected, what I have to do is I have to get the folder object. So for that I have to create this folder object and I have to open this. So first of all I have to copy the inbox from the Rediff mail to my folder, email folder. So for that what I am doing is I had created an object email folder of type class folder. So for the folder class I created an object email folder, and inside of this email folder I am copying the inbox. So what I will do is email store dot get folder function I am calling. This get folder function is a function available in POP3 store class. So by using this I am copying the contents of inbox, and after that I am opening the folder, that is email folder. Then I will write email folder dot open, then folder comma read only, means I am opening this folder for only read only purpose, means my purpose in this program is to read the mails from the rediff mail, and I have to print this on my console. So the next step is to print the messages whatever I fetched into the folder. Those messages I have to fetch one by one after one, and I have to print these messages in my console. For that, what I will do is I am taking an array of messages, and this messages of type message class. So message is already a predefined class, and for that I am created object messages, and instead of these messages I am taking all the messages, that is with the help of email folder dot get messages. Get messages is a predefined function. This predefined function is available. This predefined function is available in folder class, and by using this I just took all the messages into the array, messages array. Okay, and I have now my purpose is how many messages are there, those many times I have to execute this for loop. So I am executing this for loop from 0 to messages dot length -1. That number of times I want to execute this for loop. So in my case I am only 2 mails are there in my mail account, so it will return the messages to dot length as 2, so it will run 2 times. Okay, and for every time, for in every loop it has to print something. So first of all it will print the first message, then after that it has to print the second message, and then the third message, and so on. So for that, what I am doing is just I am copying the message to the object message, then I am printing some blank lines, that is some dash. After that I am printing the email number, that is the first email I have to print. So what I will do is I plus 1 means 0 plus 1 means it will create the email number as 1. Okay, and after that system.out.println I will print the subject of the message. So you know every mail is having some subject. So here I will try to write the subject with the help of the function. The function is get subject function, which is available in message class. Okay, so for that I am using the message object, and by using this message object I am getting the subject, and whatever the subject I got, that subject I printed. And after that I have to print the from address, means from where the message came. So for that I will use a function, that is get from function is there. By using this get from function I will I can get the sender information, that is who sent this mail to me. So that thing will be printed from, and after that I will print the text, actual text, what is the body of the email. So for that I will use the function as get content dot toString. So whatever the content is there, that content is converted to string and it will be printed. So there is a small error, is that the text I wrote, it is actually text. Okay, there is a small mistake is there, so it will print as a text, whatever the text content is there, the text content will be printed. Okay, so it will execute number of times, that is how many emails are there in my inbox, those many times this for loop will be executed. And after that my whole work is completed, and whatever the things that I had opened objects, those objects I have to close, that I am writing in the 5th step. So the 2 objects I closed there. After that I have to test the Java code. So whatever the program I had just written, that program has to print these 2 things, these 2 mails in the console. So for that just I will run the project. So that is the button I have to click, and you press OK. Then you just expand the console output. So just I am expanding this. So you can observe there these two mails are there in the inbox. Those two mails I got, so I just read the contents from the mail to my console output. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe Telugu Computer channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.